Okay guys, so this is the day 2. What I want you to do is go ahead and grab this worksheet or this note sheet from the counter over on the side of the room. Okay, you're going to fold it in half like we did before, like we've always done. And on the next page, this is the last notes we took, day 2, factoring using GCF. You're going to put this on the second page, or the page right after, and you're going to glue it in right here. Okay, glue it in, don't forget your page number. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and start the notes. And I'm actually going to do it on the board.
Good morning, Algebra 1. So, Mr. Osborne's here. You've already glued in the notes. Now we're going to do the notes here. What's in your notebook? I'm going to do right here on the board. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, so here we go. So, the first problem we're going to do is x squared plus 7x plus 10. All right, so we need to factor that out. Here's the problem. We've already done GCF, right? So if I did GCF here, 1, 7, and 10. Is there a number that divides? No. Okay. How about x, and x? No, there's no x's in common. So that method doesn't work here. Okay, so we need a new method. All right, but this method's a little bit similar. Okay, so what you're going to do here is first, you take your first term, and we call this the A term, okay? And then we take our, and then that goes here. So we're going to put x squared, okay? The first term always goes in the first box. Then you take your third term, and we call that, guess what? A, B, C. All right, so 10 goes here. All right, so first and the last term. First box, last box. First term, last term, okay? Now what you're gonna do is here's where the magic happens. The middle term, 7, okay? We need to figure out what goes here, okay? It doesn't just happen magically, okay? We actually gotta do some thinking, but then the magic happens after we think, okay? So what you're gonna do first is this number times this number. So remember, the number here is not just x squared, but 1. 1 times 10. You're going to put that off to here to the side. 1 times 10, or let's say A times C is 10. Okay? Again, 1 times 10. What you have to do is you have to figure out two things. You have to figure out two numbers that when you multiply them, it'll give you 10. But those same two numbers that you find have to add to 7. So first of all, let's figure out all the numbers that multiply to 10. 1 times 10, okay. 2 times 5, okay. That's all I can think of. Okay, so now, which of these two numbers do you think we could add in order to make 7? Not that one, because that makes 11, right? Or even if I subtracted them, it would only make 9. 2 and 5. Yes, 2 and 5. So there's our magic numbers. So those two numbers go in your boxes. 2 and 5. Now here's the thing. You don't just put 2 and 5. Once you put your numbers in there, you also need to add, or multiply, I should say, an x. All right? Now what the next step is, find the GCF, what we've been doing, okay? So we first look at, when we do it by rows. So at first I look here, x squared and 5x. What's the GCF? Well, 1 and 5, there's no GCF. But x squared and x, what's in common? Let's do it in blue over here. X, okay? And then 2x and x squared. Again, 1 and 2, no GCF. X squared and x, what's in common? 1x. Okay, are we tracking? Now, do you guys remember the rectangles when we did the last assignment? Where we just did 2 boxes like that? Now it's like this, a little bit more complicated, it's just 4 boxes. But you're still doing the same thing. Okay, now between 2 and 10, what's the GCF? 2. Are there any x's in common? No. And when you do this method, you'll never have x's in common in this box and this box. And then 5 and 10, what's the GCF? biggest number you can divide? Well, 5. So there's your factors. That's what we were looking for, this x5 and this x2, and I'll show you what to do with that. So here's the original expression, right? So we're going to write that here, x squared plus 7x plus 10. That is equal to, remember we're factoring it so that it looks like this. 2 parentheses, look familiar? The first one is x and 2, so x plus 2, got it? And then x and 5, x plus 5. There's the magic, okay? This original expression that we started with is equal to that expression, and that is the same expression factored. Boom! Problem number 2. Can't get better without practice, right? Can't do 1 example, gotta do 2, gotta do 3, gotta do 4, gotta do 5. Maybe you'll get it, but maybe if you don't, then maybe do 6, maybe do 7. All right, ready? Here we go. Next problem, x squared minus 8x plus 15. All right, now remember, gotta know which term is which, right? That's A, that's B, that's C. All right, first term, last term, ready? First term, last term, first box, last box, right? First term, first box, last term, last box, all right? Now, first number, first coefficient, times last coefficient, A times C, that's what goes here. Now remember, what we're looking for is two numbers, okay, that are gonna go in these two boxes, that when you multiply them, they give you 15, all right? But when you add those same two numbers, they should give you -8. So remember, first we gotta figure out what multiplies to 15. That's the first step. All right, start with 1. Don't forget 1. 1's important, always is. Don't forget about him, okay? Most important person in your life is number 1. 1 times 15. That's 15, sure. 2 times, nothing 2 times, right? 2 times doesn't work for 15. Okay, 3 times 5. Okay, 4 times, 5 times, oh wait, 5 times is the same thing. Okay, that's all we got, just those 2 combinations, right? Okay, now, I have to think to myself, 1 and 15, can I add or subtract those 2 numbers so that they equal -8? No. Boom. Even if I subtracted them, 15 minus 1, 15 plus 1, it doesn't make 8, right? 3 and 5. Can I add those 2 numbers to make 8? 3 plus 5. Oh, that makes 8. But some of you guys are like, wait, it's -8, right? It has to be negative. It has to be negative, right, Mr. Osborne? That's okay. Calm down. It's all right. Shh. All right. Here's what you got to do. You need to make 8, right? It's okay if it's positive right off the bat. Now remember, don't forget its cousin, x. Anytime you put these numbers in, don't forget your x. 3 and 5 do make 8, but it's not negative. So what you have to do is manipulate, change the signs, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do is put a negative there. Let's see if that makes 8. Does -3 plus 5, does that make 8? No, makes +2, all right, let's make 5 negative. Does -5 plus 3 make 8? No, it makes -2. But what if I make both of them negative? -3, -5, -8? Yes! All right? So you have to play with the signs. Okay, once you find your 2 numbers, change the signs. Make it positive, make it negative, okay? Or make them both negative, okay? Now we do the GCF step, okay? Last step, here we go. 1 and -5, GCF, nothing. X squared and x, GCF, common factor, x. They both have x in common. Okay, same thing here. 1 and -3, no GCF. X squared and x, what's the highest, what's the same? What's the common factor? 1x. They both have at least 1x. Okay? Now we go to the numbers on here. Okay, so we're doing this column is going to give us this number. So between -5 and 15, common factor, 5. Okay? Do they share an x? No, so just 5. Now here's the thing. If there's a negative in the box next to your number, this number has to be negative, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so now, between 3, negative 3, and 15, what's the GCF? What's the common factor? 3. That's the biggest number you can divide. But again, like I just said a moment ago, if there's a negative next to that box, make sure this is negative, and let me show you why. You can double check your work by doing this. Watch. As does x times x, does that equal x squared? Does negative 3 times x equal negative 3x? Yes, it does. Does x times negative 5 equal negative 5x? Sure does. Now, does negative 3 times negative 5, does that equal positive 15? Yes, because a negative times a negative is a positive, right? All right, so that's the way you can check your work. All right, so now, there's my answer. X squared, the original expression, is equal to my new factored expression. Factored, remember we write 2 parentheses, always, okay? X, that's a minus, or negative, so x minus 3, okay? And then x, that's negative, so x minus 5, okay? So that's your first expression, that's your new expression, and it's factored, and that's the way you leave it. You don't multiply it, you just leave it there. Don't change it, leave it, don't change it, okay? How can you check your work? We just did. We did x squared, x times x, that gives us this. Negative 3 times this, that gives us this. Then x times this gives us this. Okay, and then this times that gives us this. Or take this, and do a quick box on the side. Boom, ready? See, now I finished the box. Okay, now I'm going to do x squared, then negative 3, negative 5, negative 8x, and 15. Hey, that works, that's equal. So you know you're right. All right. Next example, let's get funky. You ready for your next problem? All right, here we go. 3x squared minus 7x minus 6. Guess what's changed? The first number is no longer what? Just 1. It's changed, it's bigger. Does that make it harder? No. Don't believe what your friends are saying in your other classes. It's not harder, I promise you. It's just the same thing, okay? All right, so here we go. Again, first term is A, second is B, third is C. A, B, C. It's just like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, just like my 2-year-old sings to me. All right, so first term goes here. Last term goes here. First term, first box. Last term, last box. Uh-oh, what did I forget? 6 is negative. Please don't forget that. Okay, if it's negative, make sure the negatives follow the numbers, right? Just like we did in the last chapter. All right, so now, this number times this number, the first times the last, remember just the numbers, that's what we're going to put here. And remember, it's 3 times negative 6, so negative 18, okay? Same steps as before. Two numbers that are going to go here that multiply to 18, negative 18, but then also add to negative 7, our middle number. They have to multiply to negative 18, or in other words, this number times this number. They have to add, they have to multiply to that, and they have to add to the middle number, negative 7. Okay? Here we go. First, find all the number combinations. 1 times 18, and don't worry about the negatives until later, okay? 2 times 9. 3 times 6. How about 4 times? No. 5 times? That doesn't work. 6 times? Oh wait, we're already back to 6 again, because we already had that one, okay? So now, think to yourself, with 1 and 18, can I add or subtract those two numbers to make 7? 18 minus 1? No. 1 plus 18? Not even close. 2 and 9, can I add or subtract them? 2 plus 9? 11? No. How about 9 minus 2? 7. Okay, that might work. Okay. How about 3 and 6? 3 plus 6? 9. Doesn't work. How about 6 minus 3? No, that's 3. Doesn't work. So that's our combination. Okay? But remember, it's got to add up to 7. Okay? And remember, once you put them in this box, don't forget its cousin, x. All right? So now remember this. these two numbers have to add to -7. Okay? So first let's start by making that 2, or -2. Does 9 and -2 make -7? It makes 7, but not -7, it makes +7. Okay? So not the 2. Okay, does 9 and -9 and +2, does that make -7? Yes, it does. And double check also, does -9 times 2, does that make -18? Yes, it does. So it works. Because remember, these two numbers have to multiply to -18, okay, to A times C. And they also have to add to our middle number. Okay? It's like a little puzzle. Okay? That's the only part where we have to do a whole lot of thinking. After that, now we're just plug and chug. All right, so now again, GCF between these two numbers, that goes here. 3 and 9. 3. Okay? How about x squared and x? Is there a common x or a common factor? Yes, they both have one x. Okay? Now remember, don't put a negative here because there's a negative here. You only put a negative if it's right next door. So where am I going to put a negative? There. Okay? Only if it's next door. Okay? So now, 2 and 3, common factor. There is none, just 1, so we're not going to put 1. But how about x squared and x? Yes, there's an x. And every time in these two boxes, you're always going to have at least one letter. Okay? Now, -9 and -6, common factor. Well, they're both negative, so I already know it's -3, right? But if 9 and 6, yeah, it's 3. Remember what I said, negative next door, make sure that's negative, okay? How about 2 and 6? What's the biggest number you can divide into those two numbers? 2. Okay, do they have an x in common? Nope, so no x there. Same thing here. No x in common between these two numbers, so no x there. Hey, there's your numbers. Whoop, whoop. Okay, original expression, 3x squared minus 7x minus, not plus, 6. Okay, this is your first factor. And each of these parentheses, we are calling them factors. Okay, here's your first factor, 3x minus 2. Second factor, and it's being multiplied, so don't draw anything between those two parentheses, x minus 3. Boom! Factor. Oh yeah, don't forget. Warriors! MVP! Woo! Now, in all seriousness, if that didn't help you and you still need more help, I'm attached some more videos to Edpuzzle that go over the same method so that you can practice some more. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching.